What if the secret to a peaceful, clear, and free mind was hiding in the one thing your body already does without thinking? What if every philosopher, every Zen master, every Sufi mystic, every ancient thinker throughout history was basically teaching you the same thing your bladder has been trying to explain since the day you were born? This is the book that says the unsayable, with humor, with philosophy, with surprising science, and delivers one of the most quietly powerful ideas you will hear all year. Stay, because the first insight alone will change how you see your own mind forever. The book is called Think and Have P, and yes, that title is deliberate. It was written by Shamail Aijaz, a non-fiction author and management thinker, and it belongs to a rare category, a book that is genuinely funny on the surface and deeply serious underneath. At its core, this book explores one simple truth. Humans are creatures of pressure. And we are suffering, not because life is too hard, but because we refuse to release. Think about your mind for a moment. Right now, what are you holding? Maybe an old argument you keep replaying. A fear about something that hasn't happened yet. A memory that won't leave. A guilt that shows up at 2 in the morning. An expectation someone placed on you that you never agreed to carry. Now here's the question the book asks. If your body fills up and signals you, urgently, unmistakably, to release, why does your mind do the same thing and you just keep holding it in? That is the paradox this book unpacks across 16 chapters, with humor, with philosophy, and with more truth than most self-help books dare to deliver. Every human being, regardless of title, wealth, power, or spiritual achievement, does 2 things without exception. They think and they pee. Kings do it. Monks do it. CEOs do it. The neighbor who thinks he's spiritually evolved because he once read a book on mindfulness does it. And this shared biology holds a first truth. We are far less different from each other than we imagine. Everyone's internal world is a mess of thoughts, doubts, urges, and impulses, just like yours. Everyone is overwhelmed. Everyone is trying. And everyone, at some point today, will feel the relief of finally letting something go. The book makes this point not to be crude, but to strip away the illusion that others have it together while you alone are chaotic. That illusion is where suffering quietly begins. Humility begins when illusion ends. The book introduces what it calls the full tank problem. Just like the body creates pressure when the bladder fills, the mind creates pressure when thoughts accumulate. But the body sends clear signals: tightness, urgency, discomfort. The mind sends subtle ones: restlessness, irritability, snapping at small things, feeling overwhelmed by tasks that were easy yesterday, overreacting to a comment that should mean nothing. These aren't personality flaws, they're pressure warnings. Your internal tank is rising. Something needs to be released. But most people ignore these signals. They try to hold it. They believe that endurance is strength, until the tank overflows, and the reaction surprises even them. The sudden outburst, the unexpected breakdown, the emotional explosion that seems far too big for the situation. This is not sudden. It is accumulated. It is everything you didn't release, asking to be released all at once. 3 forces cause the mind to become overcrowded: memory, emotion, and imagination. Memory is the hoarder. It was designed to help you learn and avoid danger, but instead it collects every embarrassment, every disappointment, every awkward handshake since childhood. And it replays them, preferably at 2 in the morning. Preferably when you can do nothing about it. Emotion is the amplifier. It takes a neutral memory and shouts into a microphone, "This is important." And because the voice comes from inside you, you believe it. Imagination is the hyperactive roommate who never sleeps. It runs ahead of reality, painting disaster movies of things that haven't happened and probably never will. Together, these three turn a single moment into a lifelong tenant in your mind. Your mind is not broken. It is just dramatic. It overhelps. It tries to protect you by imagining problems that don't exist. Overcrowding isn't failure, it's affection gone wrong. Overthinking disguises itself as intelligence. People believe, the more I think, the more prepared I'll be. But look closer, and overthinking is simply fear wearing a suit. It is not control. It is the illusion of control. The brain starts overthinking when it cannot tolerate uncertainty. It tries to outsmart the future by imagining every possible outcome. This does not make you prepared. It makes you exhausted. Overthinking takes reality and paints it with the darkest color in the box. Someone doesn't reply? They must hate you. You make a small mistake, your whole future is ruined. Silence. It must mean something bad. Overthinkers develop extraordinary mental endurance. They hold worry like fragile glass, studying every angle, worrying about every crack. But this isn't strength, it's survival mode. The mental equivalent of refusing to go to the bathroom for 3 hours during a long meeting, and then pretending everything is perfectly fine. The real problem isn't having thoughts. The real problem is believing every thought is a fact. You do not need fewer thoughts. You need fewer attachments to thoughts. No one teaches us how to release emotions. Instead, from childhood, we receive the accidental lessons. Don't cry. Be strong. Move on. Forget it. It's not a big deal. These messages, repeated over years, train the mind to store emotions rather than process them. Unreleased emotions don't disappear. They migrate. They settle in the jaw as tension. They lodge in the stomach as anxiety. They sit on the chest like a weight no logic can dissolve. The danger is never the feeling itself. It is the fear of feeling it. When you hold a feeling long enough, it starts holding you. You begin to believe you are the sadness you refused to express. You become who your suppressed emotions force you to be. And then the book does something unexpected. It names humor as one of the most powerful tools for emotional release. Laughter shakes the body. It loosens emotional knots, softens the mind. A single moment of genuine laughter can do more emotional cleansing than hours of overanalysis. Inside every mind exists a secret waiting room, open 24 hours, 7 days, where thoughts gather the moment they form. Some arrive gently, others burst in. A few come dragging emotional luggage behind them like trolleys. The key rule of this waiting room: what you refuse to face, you are forced to feel. Suppressed emotions return as anxiety. Unresolved memories return as intrusive thoughts. Worries return every night at 2 in the morning. Because thoughts do not leave until you acknowledge them, thoughts leave when they feel seen. Acknowledgement is the flush mechanism of the psyche. Letting go is not forgetting, it is unclenching. It is stopping your grip on the memory, the emotion, or the thought that is gripping your peace. Most people don't release because they're afraid of the emotional mess. They fear vulnerability. They fear losing control. But bursting, the emotional explosion when the tank finally overflows, that is the real loss of control. Letting go is the prevention. Bursting is the result of refusing that prevention. The 4 steps of emotional release. First, awareness. I am holding something heavy. Second, acknowledgement. This feeling is valid. Third, non-attachment. This feeling is not me. Fourth, release. It can go now. And when you let go, the change is not only psychological, it is biological. Shoulders drop, breathing deepens, heart rate stabilizes, the stomach loosens. Your entire system recognizes release as safety. What did the greatest minds in history actually master? The Stoics, the Sufis, the Zen masters, Buddha, Rumi, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca. The answer is both humorous and accurate. They were all early experts in mental release. They mastered the art of not gripping what didn't belong inside them. The Stoics said, "Control what you can, release what you can't." The Sufis said, "Empty yourself of everything that is not love." Zen masters said, "When the mind is empty, everything becomes possible." Buddha said, "Suffering arises from clinging." Across cultures, across centuries, the message is identical. Do not hold what is meant to pass. Pressure is not the enemy. Avoidance is. Pressure is a signal, a teacher, pointing to where you've stopped flowing, where you're suppressing, where you're resisting truth, where growth is waiting. The moment you walk toward it, it becomes guidance. The moment you avoid it, it multiplies. Avoidance says, "I'm not ready to feel this." But feelings don't leave just because you don't want to face them. Feeling the emotion is always less painful than carrying the emotion. Avoidance is emotional interest you pay, more the longer you delay. Life is motion. It is never still. And the only constant is change. Yet humans treat change as the enemy. You are born in flow. A baby cries, then laughs, feels fear, then forgets, loves effortlessly, lets go instantly. It is adults who teach children how to hold emotions, suppress needs, and resist change. So letting go is not a skill you learn. It is a memory you return to. The 7 principles of flow. Life moves. You suffer when you don't. Release is natural. Resistance is learned. Thoughts are guests, not furniture. Not everything deserves a fight. What is yours will stay without force. What leaves creates space for what arrives. Peace comes from moving with life, not against it. Peace is not something you find. It is something you stop blocking. The title Think and Have P was never just comedy. It is a formula. Think. Become aware of what you're holding. Notice your pressure. Acknowledge the emotions you bury. And accept that life is a continuous flow. Movement is normal. Change is healthy. Release is natural. Have P. Let go. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Release pressure the moment it hurts. Empty the tank regularly. Choose flow over force. Choose peace over tension. People believe strength means holding everything. But strength is knowing when to release. A wise person doesn't grip life tightly. A wise person lets life flow through them. Release is not avoidance. It is maturity. It is the ability to say, "This feeling has taught me enough. This memory no longer defines me. This worry has no benefit. This fear does not belong to my future." Peace is not something you find. It is something you create by emptying what blocks it. You don't need to become enlightened. You don't need to meditate for years. You only need to do what your body already knows. Feel the pressure. Acknowledge it. Release it. Return to flow. In the end, life is not a race or a puzzle or a test of endurance. It is a rhythm, a pulse that grows quieter when you stop fighting it. You were never meant to carry your thoughts like a burden, your emotions like a locked vault, your past like a chained anchor. Peace is not earned. Peace is restored by release. You do not heal by gripping. You heal by loosening. You rise by softening. You grow by flowing. and you become yourself again by finally letting go of everything that was never yours to hold. So here is what this book leaves you with, distilled into a few lines you can actually use. Your mind is not broken when it's full. It is simply signaling, the same way your body signals, that something needs to move. The heaviness you feel is not life. It is the weight of what you've refused to release. Overthinking is not intelligence. It is fear wearing a suit. Emotional constipation is not strength. It is suffering postponed. And peace, real peace, is not found at the end of great achievement. It is found the moment you unclench. Think freely. Feel lightly. Release often. Flow always. That is the book. That is the philosophy. That is the invitation. If this summary gave you something to think about, or something to finally let go of, the full book is available on Amazon and across more than 25 retail platforms worldwide. Written by Shamail Aijaz. Thank you for listening.